we got a pretty powerful statement from your head coach on Monday morning about everything that's going on. And I know we just chatted with Bobby Okereke, and he kind of let us in on the meetings you guys have had the last couple of days. I'm curious as your response to those, and what was it like, and how did the meetings go from your perspective?
Oh, hang on. Nyheim, you're muted. There you go. Start over again, Nyheim. Go
I'm
ahead.
good now? We're good?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Honestly, I think it was just really powerful. And, despite all the stuff that's going on in the world, it was some passionate conversations, not only African-Americans, but white males talking too. And, like some coaches going up there being very passionate. And some guys saying they know about it and they need to do more. Some guys saying that, they know about it and they're raising their kids. And, it was just big. And it was big just for me, just as a player, listening to it for the past, 2 days. Just, seeing the unity that we have with the brotherhood. And, it doesn't really matter what's really going on in the world. All we got is each other. We're all people. And that's what I really got out of it. Just seeing how, despite all the bad things going on in the world, blacks, whites, all sorts of ethnicities in the football team binding together as one. And we all of us saying we got each other's back, it was really really moving and really great. And I think a lot of great things were said, and it was very, very passionate meeting. And I think this whole incident just really built our team camaraderie, honestly.
Have you ever been a part of a conversation like that with a football team?
No, I haven't actually. It goes back to, our leadership and our ownership. Started with Mr. Irsay, and then Chris Ballard and Coach Reich, and I feel like they made that important for all the guys to hear that. And even today, Coach Reich opened up the floor, and anybody who wanted to speak could speak. And then even today, the same thing. And then even Chris Ballard saying something. And that really, that's how we know we're a great organization. You guys have been around. I think we have a great organization. We have great leadership from the owner down to the players. And I think that's what's really big and great about the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, Mike Wells.
Hey, how you doing, Nyheim, man?
Man.
Hey, I want to ask you more about Frank. Obviously, the situations have all been different, but what is it about Frank's personality that allows him to kind of help keep a room calm? I mean, you go back to 2 years ago when you guys got off to the slow start, dealing with Andrew retiring last year, and then obviously with the COVID situation, and then, the unfortunate situation that the country's dealing in now. What is it about Frank that kind of gives you guys reassurance with him?
Honestly, it's just him as a person, calm, cool, collected, a very trustworthy guy. Like, the 3 T's he talks about, team, together, trust, all that. He epitomizes it. And for you to epitomize something, you have to teach it. You have to practice what you preach, and he practices it. And honestly, it's like a Game of Thrones reference. I just finished Game of Thrones. He's like Jon Snow. Even if he wants to be the king or doesn't want to be king, people are drawn to him. And that's what I can say about Coach Reich. I've always thought the world of Coach Frank Reich. And, even before this, I always thought the world of him. And, he's just a leader. People are drawn to him, and he can lead.
Have you ever seen him rattled?
I don't think so, actually. I think one time I maybe seen him in a game raise his voice, but absolutely not rattled. He's always calm, cool, and collected. And if he's ever been rattled, he's got the whole team pulled, because I've never seen it.
All right. We will go Charlie Clifford.
Nyheim, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Question for you growing up. I know you were right down the road from NC State.
Yep.
Philip Rivers is quarterbacking when you're 6 or 7. Do you have any memories of him with the Wolfpack?
I do remember him. I remember I really remember the games he played, and that's actually, I think, the last time NC State wore Nike, but that's how I kind of remember it. Just remember seeing him in the Nike 17, and just seeing him lead that team. He had some great players, and just seeing them win some games. And I remember thinking, like, dang, maybe soon I get to play there and help them win games too, which it's funny as life works, like, kind of happened. But I just remember him, and even looking at it, seeing that he was in school from 2000 to 2003. I was born in 1996. I started doing the math in my head, and I was like, wow, guys play a lot of football. So whenever he talks, I'm definitely going to listen.
Okay, we've got Joel Erickson.
Nyheim, is race something that gets talked about in the locker room very often? Subject of race?
I don't think so. I mean, I think sometimes things come up about it, but it's not something that's really talked about. We talk about a lot of other things, but race isn't really something that's really ever really brought up.
And does that mean is that part of what made the last 2 days so special for you guys, that it was able to be out there and in the open?
just past after just thinking about everything that's been said the past 2 days. I think it's great to be talked about because even just between whites and blacks all over America, sometimes race is the elephant in the room nobody wants to talk about. Sometimes you want to make sure you say it the right way, and just to make sure you don't offend people. But I think it was great to talk about. But honestly, I really think we just don't talk about race because in our locker room it really doesn't matter. Like even when you're kids, like you don't really care who you're playing with when you're on the playground, black, white, purple, red. I think that's why race really was never really talked about in our locker room because I see white guys, black guys, and all of us just all hang out together. So I really just think it really has never been a problem. That's probably why it's never been spoken about.
All right, Kevin Bone.
Hey, Nyheim, thanks for doing this. Year 3 for you now. Have you changed kind of your off-season workout routine? Anything specifically you wanted to focus on this season body-wise?
Just wanted to get stronger, honestly. Obviously every year I try to get a little bit faster. And, with the COVID time, I've been having some time to get some extra training in without practicing. But really I wanted to get stronger and just make sure I can be cleaner on my routes. And I think I've been doing a great job of just working on that.
And special teams-wise, obviously what you did as a punt returner last year was a huge highlight late in the season. I assume that's something you want to do on a full-time duty?
Absolutely. Love to do punt and kick returns. Punt and kick return again. I love to do both of them. But I got to go out there and earn both the jobs. So that's what I plan on doing. I'd like to start at both of them and do PP or anything that's asked of me like I have been the past 2 years. Not going to really let that, the last part of the season really change how I view special teams. Whatever Bubba and Frankie ask me to do, I'm going to do.
All right, Jim Aiello.
Hey, Nyheim, thanks for doing this. I just going back to the kind of the team meetings and all the positive stuff that came out of it. I'm wondering, do you feel like that's going to happen maybe in society? It sounds like you guys, like you said, there's not a lot of maybe racism inside the locker room, but it sounds like a lot of the coaches and players have seen it other places and might be more willing to talk about it and spread awareness about it outside of the locker room.
I think it's a start. I think even somebody, I'm not exactly sure who it was, but somebody in the meeting said that we should use our platform that we have now in the NFL. So I think this whole issue of what's going on in the world is only going to be as big as the people who have a platform make it. And even the guy I don't remember who it was, but the guy said, I remember my favorite athlete growing up, like Chris Paul is one of my favorite athletes. Whatever Chris Paul said to do, I would do. So I think we have to use that for the kids and, just even for just everybody watching. Everybody's watching what athletes are doing right now, what, the higher ups are doing and people with a platform. So I think that's really where it starts. I think it's slowly getting better. Like inflation, maybe 1% at a time, but there's time for change. And I really just think that, the people with the platform really just have to step up and that's how things will get better.
Do you expect, I assume it seems like you've done some thinking about it. Do you expect to be more vocal, more talkative yourself in the future about these kind of things?
I would love to. Honestly, just me, my parents were not my parents, my grandparents protested. My late grandmother marched with Martin Luther King and her husband, my grandfather, he actually participated in the Greensboro sit-ins in the 60s. Having a my grandmother marched with Martin Luther King and my grandfather participate in a sit-in is something I should be more vocal about because, it's family experience. And, in life, you really only go as far as experience takes you. So I should really do a better job at leading because I've had, family members that peacefully protested. The looting and rioting that's going on hasn't been great. It's not great, and that's not really what should be going on. But I think, just guys like me and other athletes who know things about it, we should lead protests and, try to be more avid in the community.
Okay, Andrew Walker.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the Darren Sproles comparison all over, a lot of times coming out of college, probably asked a lot of questions about him. But now that you've got Phillip as your quarterback, it's easy to kind of bring those back because of the success he had with Sproles. At any point, did you watch any of those highlights or film, or is that coming up in the install at all as you go over plays, or just wondering about that because it's kind of coming up again, that comparison?
Well, I'm excited to have Phillip first off. I think I've seen a lot of film of Woodhead and Sproles since I got in the NFL, with Coach Sirianni and Coach Reich's background there. There's a route the specialized running back route that Darren Sproles and Woodhead, the Woodheads of the world are great at. They always do a great job of, showing me them and what they did. And even just with Phillip talking to him about it, just asking him things about routes, it's something I'm looking forward to. I'm very excited. Been waiting 2 or 3 years, just trying to catch some balls and hopefully, I get a little bit more opportunity and, I'm going to try to earn that. And the Sproles comparison are cool, but, I'm just going to try to be the best Nyheim Hines I can be. And if I can be just half as good as Sproles, I think I'll be okay.
All right, we've got two more. Zach Kiefer.
On that same note, Nyheim, Woodhead caught 76 balls one year with the Chargers and 80 another. I'm sure you wouldn't fight that. I mean, if they're going to start dumping you the ball out of the backfield, have you talked to Phillip Rivers about that? Have you got the sense that that's one of his things? He loves to get the ball off to the running backs. Is that something you feel like can really take off this year?
No, absolutely. I think I love to have 70 or 80 balls. I'm gonna take whatever's given to me, and I think whatever it is, I think with Phillip back there or whoever's back there, I think I'll be able to make something happen. As a running back, we're the safety valve, and it's always great. I've always thought I was a safety valve that could take a 5-yard dump and turn it into 50. And that's really what I've been planning on doing the past 2 years, and hopefully show glimpses of it. But I'd love to do that this year, and I think with Phillip back there, I think it'll be a great possibility of it.
Okay, Mike Wells, last one.
Hey, Nyheim, I want to ask you, stay on the offensive side of things. When you look at what you guys did in the draft, getting 2 wide receivers, Michael Pittman with some size, getting Jonathan Taylor in the backfield to go with you, Jordan, and Marlon. What do you think of the potential of this offense when you have the number of options and possibilities you guys are capable of doing?
Honestly, I've been thinking about it for a long time. Honestly, we have a squad. We have a great team. Just not even offensively, defensively. We made some great additions. All the people that we've got. I think offensively speaking, the only way we can lose is we beat ourselves. We have the option. Or injury. We literally have everything. And I think this has been not just this year. I think it started, when Coach Reich got here. We've slowly been putting the pieces together one by one, little by little. And I think hopefully this year everything comes together. I'm super excited. And, I know we have a squad. I think we can play with anybody in the NFL. And I think that we will look forward to doing that this year.
And then just to follow up real quick, I didn't even talk about the offensive line. You guys were the only team to have your O-line start all 16 games last season. You get Costanzo back. It seems like as far as the balance goes, you guys have the possibility of running the ball for a lot of yards. And then, with Phillip coming in with big plays and stuff, it just seems like the options are endless for you guys.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Reich, Coach Sirianni, and all the people trying to, get the offense together, they're probably having a hard time of trying to figure out with all the weapons. I can only imagine what they're going through. But obviously, the offensive line is something that, we always talk about. That's something we've never had to talk about since I've been there. We've had great guys. I'm happy to see the same guys back. Honestly, I've never seen the same 5 guys for 3 years in a row. So, honestly, that's a blessing too. And, we appreciate all those guys. Those guys, for them to be linemen, linemen may not get a lot of love. But I feel like, especially in Indianapolis, we do a great job of praising those boys. And it's great to see those guys get the recognition, but also they deserve it. And, they're going to keep trying to earn some more respect that they already have earned.